Welcome to a new video. How's it going? I hope you're all doing very well. Our friends at Phones de Guatemala just sent me the Nothing Phone 4A. I'll leave the price right here for you. It might be a little more expensive or cheaper in your country. This is just for reference. The version they sent me has 256 gigabytes of internal storage and 12 gigs of RAM. I've already unboxed it beforehand because it's easier to show it to you that way. Look, what comes in the box is practically things we're gonna like, but there's one thing we won't. The charger is not included. Look, here we have some text entirely in English. You can pause it and read it carefully, but we're gonna move on. What's included here inside the box? Check it out. We have the user manual. It also comes with its respective USB Type-C cable on both ends, and its tool to pop out the SIM tray. In this case, the tool is quite curious. Look, it's completely like glass, which we're going to use. And also its respective protective case, completely transparent. And here is our device. Whoa! We're going to proceed to unbox it, and here you have it. Look, how nice. Totally transparent. And it doesn't weigh that much. 204.5 grams, about 7.23 ounces, all glass with an aluminum chassis. It has a thickness of 8.6 millimeters and the battery is 5080 milliamps. Doesn't have wireless charging, just like the Pro. We have IP64 protection, resistant to water splashes and dust. I'm not going to submerge it either. You can't. Here we have an LED light, which we'll see in action a bit later. But we can also see it right now. Look, it does work. We can turn up the volume. It also responds to notifications. And here, this red dot will also work when we're recording a video. And that's it for the LED lights. That's it. But I really do love the design. I like it a lot. It's quite stylish. We basically have the essential buttons, power button, volume up, volume down, which I like quite a bit. We also have its screen here, which is AMOLED technology with a 6.78-inch diagonal, flexible AMOLED. We also have Corning Gorilla Glass 7 eye protection. That's actually really good. And look, if you take a closer look, we also have, well, the super convenient and secure fingerprint unlock feature right here. It works quite well. Look, it unlocks perfectly. And we also have face unlock. It works very well. The interface looks really nice. Seriously. We also have the option here to change the refresh rate. We go to display, and here we're going to go to the refresh rate, which is 120 Hz. Although we can also leave it on dynamic, so it can work from 120 down to 1, depending on how we're using it. Well, the maximum brightness of this great phone is 4500 nits. Not bad. 4500 nits is good, while the Pro is 5000, right? And the Pro is 144 Hz. That's good. It also includes HDR viewing for videos, which we're going to see one next. And there you go. Here we can switch between the resolution, which would be an HDR, up to 4K, which looks incredible. Since we know it's an AMOLED screen, the blacks will look deeper, the white's very nice, and above all, the color rendering does quite well. This is considering watching videos of this magnitude, especially for watching HDR10 content on any other type of platform, including YouTube. Since we're looking at the screen, how about we do a sound test? Coming up, and it has dual speakers. Taking advantage of the fact that we have the tool to remove the SIM tray, let's see what its tray is like. And indeed, it has dual SIM, factory unlocked, meaning it's global. Well, we don't have support for electronic eSIM. Now let's talk a little about its software. I like it because the operating system it includes is similar to a Google Pixel device, without any third-party applications of fairly clean, agile software. And if we talk about its processor, here we find the Snapdragon 7S General 4. and it also includes Nothing OS 4.1 here. And when I started using it, everything started working. In fact, in order to download an update that was pending, considerably improving its cameras. Here we have the RAM extension, which we'll see later on, the screen information, the battery, and also regarding its cameras. Then we also have Android 16 on board here. As I said at the beginning, very well updated. And something I also like about Nothing is that here we have 24mm photos like Cine Amber, 28mm Urban, Cold Retro, and 48mm Future as well. If we tap here, well, we're going to take that photo, and it also offers us this same result here, which I like a lot. And the Pro also has this, which are also sections that we really like quite a bit. Now let's move on to the Essential. Look, here we can take a live note in a Memory Academy. We just hold down this button, and it'll even serve to quickly record a voice note. If we hold it down, well, there it is. It's like a screenshot. We can shrink it, and there you go. That's how it works. The power button also serves to call up the Google Assistant. If we press it twice, it's also to launch the camera. If we hold it down here, we get Circle to Search to identify objects. This is from Google. Also, if we go to the Glyph effect, I liked it quite a bit. As we've already seen, we have the option here to turn up the volume, and there it is. It shows us this. But we also have options in notifications like Classic, Generator, and Default. Look at how it sounds when we send a ringtone. I really like that. It's like a lighting engine. Then we have Glyph. Look, mute ringtone and notifications. We can also do this. And then the volume indicator, as it already told us, it's going to show us what the effect is like. The timer also works. Look, just like the Pro, only the Pro fills up in the circle, while this one fills up that LED light. And we also have progress. Look at how the progress is here. And this will work with calendar, Umber, and when we're taking a trip, it's basically going to fill up with progress as we go. I really like that. If we want to turn off that effect, we can tell it when we're going to bed. We already have it right here. The toolkit, we have AI usage, essential space, we have key adjustment, wallpaper studio, essential news widget, ChatGPT widget, interaction with ChatGPT. Well, what's happening here is that Nothing has a collaboration with ChatGPT. So when we use headphones, for example, we can ask it questions in real time without touching our Nothing phone. That's the reason it offers us all those types of sections, to be able to ask it questions for it to identify more than just one thing. Just imagine everything we can already do with artificial intelligence. And that's it. We have everything here now. We're down here. And I really like the screen lock because here, for example, we can double tap to turn off the screen. We can simply double tap again to wake up the screen, or just lift the phone up to turn it on, and it unlocks right away, almost instantly, thanks to my Face ID. Then we also have special features where we have gestures. I have it set to 3 buttons here. However, I can tell it to only work using gestures, like this. We also have the Glyph effect here, which we already saw. And then over here, we'll have the RAM extension. We can increase it by 8 more. And it only said 2. I like this because we also have pop-up view and game mode, where here we have the management, the game list, and the game panel. We're going to say yes. And now let's head over to the section regarding the processor. Has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 4. You're seeing it right here. This processor, well, we'd have to test it because the Pro has a Snapdragon 7 Generation 4 without the S, and what it's going to give us as a result is the following. I think I installed a game there, Call of Duty, but why don't we go to this game instead? Which would be this one. We'll test it later in a gaming test. I saw here that we would also have the option to have performance mode. This is also offered by Nothing, the Pro. I like this because having these sections now really brings a lot of joy, seriously. And over here, we also have what is an FPS counter. We can actually do it like this, or we could just stream live directly on YouTube, right? From right here, without needing to use any third-party application. So I'm gonna leave it here. We'll have to do a gaming test later on. So subscribe to see how it might run in this game, which would be Bloodstrike. And we finished here to see how its performance is. We'll see this in a gaming test later on. And before continuing with the camera section, we'll see if it has a proximity sensor. I don't know why they've removed the proximity sensor from all phones now. Now, let's talk about the camera section. We have a main sensor that is 50 megapixels. This one doesn't sound like rocks, doesn't rattle. We have OIS stabilization, PDAF autofocus. We also have another 50 megapixel sensor. This one is a 3.5x periscope lens with 70x digital zoom, which we'll see in a moment. And we also have an ultra wide angle, which is 8 megapixels, 120 degrees. And finally, we have a selfie camera of up to 32 megapixels. And, well, let's see what its interface is like. Regarding its cameras, we have portrait mode, 3.5 times optical, also like this. Look at how it works. Here we have the effects. Then, in selfie camera mode, we also swipe up. How nice! Ah, we have these. The same thing we had seen regarding the home screen, right? The home screen also shows us that. This thing right here is like a widget, seriously. I always get confused with this. Look, I think it's the camera. Let's see if it doesn't happen to you, or if it does happen to you. We also have this here, automatic HDR. We can modify the exposure. We want 16:9. We also have ultra wide mode here at 1x, 2x, 3.5x optical, 7x digital. It also shows us that there are photos there in macro mode because we are too close, and 70 times digitally. And there it is. From what I'm seeing, it doesn't appear to have artificial intelligence to be able to identify the object at a long distance. However, the Pro does. We're going to leave it here to see if it indicates whether it has artificial intelligence. Indeed it doesn't. Yes, there are big changes. We have HDR and watermark. If we swipe up, we have this, the same thing it offered us before. And here in photography, standard, very good. We have ultra wide mode, automatic HDR. We can activate it when we take photos. And as for video recording, here it offers us 1080 at 60 frames per second, just like the Pro. We can also record in HDR. That's good, just like the Pro. We also have 4K. Here, it doesn't record at 60 frames per second. Well, it does record, but at 1080 at 60 frames per second, if you notice. No, it's not possible. We can record in HDR, and we have the LED light indicator here. If we tell it to record, I'll show you this right now. Ultra wide mode at 2 times. Well, at 1 times, right? At 1 times, 3.5 times optical. It goes up to 20. We set it to 4K, same thing, right? The same thing happens. It doesn't go any higher. If we slide over here, it's the same thing. And if we record a video, what will happen is that we have that will be blinking there, letting us know that we are recording a video. If you want to remove it, well, it's enough to just deactivate it and we have it there. Then, regarding video recording on the selfie camera, it's the same thing. We have night, slow motion, time-lapse, panoramic, and expert mode. And that's it for this unboxing. Getting to know all the features of this Nothing Phone 4a. And as for my first impressions, what I've liked is the LED light, which I love, especially for notifications. That red LED light when we're recording a video, indicating that we're doing so. The material is very pro, the screen is very nice, the processor would need to be tested, but we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S General 4. It will definitely get us out of a jam, and above all, the interaction of artificial intelligence with ChatGPT and Gemini, we have both here, and that really grabs your attention. And the customization layer from nothing, which is on another level. We won't find that on any other phone. So, we've reached the end here. Many thanks to our friends at Phones. I'll leave the price right here for you. It might be a little cheaper or a little more expensive in your country. It's just for reference, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. In the gaming test, and finally, in the final review. Bye.